This is called a benefit of the doubt review, where, you know, you're kind of like, yeah, it's awful, but we'll give you some credit on some things, because we're being really nice to you today. Hi, I'm Ryan Wright.
And I'm Jerry.
And I'm Kat.
Welcome to Reasons to See,
where we give you reasons to see.
And not to see.
I, Frankenstein! So let's hang out. Reason to see number 1. Aaron Eckhart's body. Alright, so we just saw I, Frankenstein.
Yeah.
And, boy, what a film.
Yes.
Certainly a movie.
What a delight. This movie has 6% on Rotten Tomatoes. And, honestly,
it earns that
6%.
Yeah.
But there are a few reasons to see it. Just like this reason, Aaron Eckhart shirtless.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it was a great moment. You know, when it happens, you're like,
okay,
okay, cool, yeah. But then
I feel like I didn't waste my money.
Yeah, it's a good moment. It's cheesy as hell.
The film literally builds that moment up and then stops to go, look how buff he is.
Where were the bolts? There were no bolts on
There were
his
no
neck.
bolts. Yeah,
Well,
there were no bolts.
I mean,
and the makeup on him was awful too.
Actually, I believe in the book there are no bolts. The
Oh,
product
I
of
see.
the original
That's a Hollywood
Universal
product.
movie. Yeah.
a
Dr.
little
Frankenstein must have done a very good job picking a bunch of corpses that all looked very similar.
Yeah, the skin tone matched so well.
Yeah, it's like he just looks like one guy. But that moment, yeah,
This
that
is
has become a thing in all of these movies where it's like there is a mandatory, it's a trope now where it's like the troubled hero, but secretly he's really buff.
Yeah,
And it's dark.
It's like a thing for actors now. It's expected. You know, if you watch like old school movies with action heroes, like 70s, like Charlton Heston days, you're like, they weren't like cut, they were like strong, but nowadays, like, it's expected.
Then again, you know, there's Arnold Schwarzenegger, you got like the Rambo look too, you know, like, you know, Sylvester Stallone really was pretty buff.
What I feel is that if there was a time where actors would do this, get buff, and it was like all over the news. Now, when it happens, it's like, yeah, you're supposed to. Good job.
Yeah, so brooding the whole time.
Yes. Reason to see number 2. Some of the visuals. Some of the visuals are okay.
There are a handful of really badass shots.
The ending credits, you know, those cool, like, pictures of the gargoyles, those were kind of nice.
Yeah, the ending credits.
They really just
what you
pulled that out
go
at
to
the
watch.
end.
I'm happy they used so many practical effects in addition to all the CG, and
Yeah.
at least the main baddie looked good.
Oh yeah, when they turned back into stone, that was a neat effect.
But overall, for me, I thought most of the visual effects were incredibly cheesy. Yeah, I thought they looked like a total, like, straight to DVD thing going on.
It was pretty evident.
Yeah, it's better than the Sci-Fi Channel, but it's sort of like you can tell which scenes they spent money on and which scenes they cheaped on.
Reason to see number 3. Some of the action. Some of the action is good.
Yeah.
Actually, you know, I thought, like, there's not that much action in this film. But when there is action, it's good.
But there's also not that much film.
Yeah.
Like, this movie is like 78 minutes long.
Yeah,
or
it was
something
pretty
like
short.
And it feels like it's 45 minutes long.
Yeah.
Oh, it's an hour and 40 minutes.
It's an hour and 40
What?
minutes.
Yeah.
Are you
It did feel
I am
short.
looking this up right
Yeah,
now.
it's I saw
that's
it on freaking Flickster.
Flickster's
What?
a fucking liar. Fandango says it's an hour and 33.
Okay, I was off by 7 minutes.
Still though, that's a lot longer than I thought too.
But yeah, the action in it though, there were some cool moments. Kind of how the Sherlock Holmes 300 thing, even though sometimes you're like, why is Frankenstein a martial artist?
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
remember his nunchuck weapons. I guess that was
Yeah.
I like
New
that they...
thing.
I like the blade thing he had at the end.
That was cool, yeah, the blades were kind of cool.
He was fucking up all those college kids. You know what this movie taught me? Frankenstein, he doesn't like to use doors. It's all about jumping through windows with this guy.
Totally.
Nobody in this movie likes to use any traditional form of getting from one room to the next. It's just like, go through a wall, through
Fly.
a window, through the floor. Like, let's throw somebody everywhere.
He pushes one door in this movie,
He does.
right?
He does push
Just
one big door open.
She does archery, just like Frankenstein.
Oh, I used to when I was a kid.
Yeah, when she was a kid. Frankenstein's a professional archer, like Legolas.
He would totally kick my
Everdeen.
ass, probably.
But I did appreciate that they at least took the time to specify that he's not really Frankenstein, he is Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
they definitely wrote that into it where they're like, oh, you know, Frankenstein is his father, so he's taking on Frankenstein as his last name, and that's why it's I Frankenstein instead of I Frankenstein's monster. So
Yeah.
twice, in fact, just in case you didn't catch it the first time in the movie, they addressed that. You know, I appreciated the writer covering their bases there.
And he does say it. He does say, "I Frankenstein" at one point.
Yes.
does.
And
Titular moment at the very end.
Yeah, it's really gets at that heart of yours.
It did.
Does.
It
And
was,
you're like, oh my god, he is Frankenstein.
you well up. It's true.
Yeah.
Reasons not to see the acting.
Woo!
I have never seen such a bad movie where every actor is unbelievably committed, yet
Yeah.
it's like horrible acting at the same time.
They all are in the same movie, but kind of in different movies. You're really committed, and I don't think this is a bad performance, but then, like, Jai Courtney comes on screen, and I'm like, you're really committed, and I don't
Yeah.
think this is a good performance. Bill Nighy's just doing his Bill Nighy thing.
Yeah, Bill Nighy plays a bad guy.
Yeah.
Who would have seen that coming?
I thought that doctor was pretty good.
She's pretty cute.
She's
Blonde
cute,
girl,
yeah,
yeah.
she's really
She
cute.
reminded me of Kate Winslet just a little bit, right?
A little bit of Kate Winslet.
Yeah.
I don't see
Tiny,
it.
a tiny bit.
Reasons not to see number 2. Aaron Eckhart.
If there's one performance of serious commitment, it's Aaron fucking Eckhart.
Aaron
It's
Eckhart.
true.
I think he forgot that he was in The Dark Knight because he clearly absorbed Christian Bale when he thought of this performance.
You're right, the guttural
Yeah,
vocals and
I'm Frankenstein. God, it was such bad acting. I could not believe what I was watching.
Reason not to see number 3. The writing.
you can't really blame them 100%. The lines they
Oh,
had
yeah.
to say.
I think anyone would have a challenge making most of those lines.
Oh yeah, the writing was so horrible. Like
I'm not a human or a gargoyle.
sometimes
Or a demon.
I walked in a little late to this film, so I had to have Jerry catch me up. I remember like he was trying to catch me up, and I'm like, yeah, I still don't know what's going on. And then at one point, Aaron Eckhart just decides to recap the first 20 minutes,
Yeah.
and I'm like, perfect, I'm caught up.
There's
Caught up
literally a
entirely.
moment.
That is true. The writer's really careful about that. He even has the bad guy like, I'm a demon prince.
Yeah.
Out before me.
Everything is so expositional.
Oh.
You know, bad guys are the stupidest in this movie. Because when bad guys have the opportunity to kill the main hero, they never do it. They love to give this whole speech about, you know, what's really going on
Oh, yeah.
to explain the plot for you. And then, you know, the bad guy gets killed and it's like, oh god, idiot. If you killed him a second ago, you wouldn't be dead now.
Yeah.
It's very James Bond.
Very
in that
James
respect.
Bondy.
There are a number of scenes. It's just constantly they capture him and the book, and then they're like, don't go after him.
They should have
We'll
called
catch
this.
him later.
They should have called this movie The Journal, because it was all about like this one journal the whole
The
time.
Notebook.
Yeah,
even.
The Notebook.
Yeah. Huh? Huh? She's
Nicholas
pretty and funny.
Sparks.
Huh? Huh? That's cool, right?
Everything felt like it was very quick, like, whereas something would take 2 or 3 scenes to unfold in most movies like this, they just crammed everything into one scene, so all the major developments feel like, oh, alright, there's the book. Oh, hey, oh, okay, he got it back. Oh, whoops, he lost, oh no, he's got it back again. I won't ruin the major plot development, but there is one very crucial plot development that literally just comes out as like, oh, I guess we were wrong.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ruin it because guess what? It's a piece of shit movie and I don't really care. This is a spoiler, but it's the most obvious spoiler in the film. At one point, like 20 minutes in, you know, Act 2, they tell Frankenstein, you don't have a soul.
Oh no, he's been dealing like this is the whole movie is
Yeah.
him dealing with I don't have a soul, but I'm alive.
I'm a
I'm an
monster.
abomination.
Of course you're gonna be like, maybe he's gonna have a soul by the end of this
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, and they try to put like a demon soul in him because he doesn't have a soul, and then he's like, with no pomp or circumstance, it's just like, oh well, guess that didn't work. 'Cause,
Yeah.
he's got a soul after all.
It wasn't an arc to him having a soul. It was just like, this is a fact.
Actually,
just like
he
a-
had a soul the entire time.
yeah.
Looks like we
The
made a
jokes-
mistake.
He doesn't grow at all. in
The
this film.
joke's on you.
Joke's on you, kid. I actually had one this whole time.
Reason not to see number 4. The directing.
The directing of this film, this guy, I think, took this movie way too seriously. I thought he should have had a lot more fun with the tone. Because it was weird, because it's like, it's over the top, it's cheesy as hell, it's just horrible. Yet, it's kind of a boring film at the same time.
Yeah, which is surprising. It should be so easy to make a film about Frankenstein, especially if you're throwing in like extra mythology.
Yeah, about him being an action
Should be
hero, yeah.
exciting at the very least.
Yeah.
But
Usually when a movie's this bad, it's
Nothing
entertaining.
happens.
It's just such a boring film.
I mean, I was always at least I never got like, oh, pick it up. I was always mildly entertained, but it is kind of, I do get what you're saying.
I closed my eyes for a little bit, and I was still able to keep up with everything that was going on.
This movie just takes itself it's so self-important.
Yeah, why though? It's like, dude, you got Frankenstein being an action hero.
They're like the epic invisible war going on between the demons and the gargoyles.
Give the characters some kind of range of emotions, because Frankenstein is always brooding, Bill Nye is always sniveling, Jai Courtney is always angry, angsty. You know, the Queen is always airy and regal, and it's like,
the doctor's there to ask questions, the scientist, yeah.
Yeah, it's like everyone does one thing the whole time. It's like, tone something, do something different. And I mean,
it was alright. It was fairly watchable. Like, it was a serviceable film, I thought, but...
Agree to disagree.
Yeah.
It held my attention. I didn't walk out being like angry or like, fuck this movie, but I was like, it was pretty bad.
I walked out claiming how bored I was. Fuck you, Frankenstein.
There's no bad sound quality.
Sorry. I don't like the guy. But nice body.
Oh yeah.
Frankenstein's gut.
Good work, Aaron.
I
You
still
really
love
got
him.
buff.
This is the most committed I've seen you to a movie.
I'm impressed.
And if there's any movie you want to do method acting on, I totally get why you did it for this one.
I loved you and thank you for smoking.
And I loved you in The Dark Knight.
You were good in that
You're
too.
really
You
good.
were
It's
great in
just-
that. And it did kind of feel just a little bit like they were just trying to like put in as few scars as possible so that you could just show how attractive he looked. It was a Twilight-esque choice.
Yeah,
It was like Beastly, where it's like, I'm a monster, which means I have really cool scars.
I go to Monster High.
Ryan's consensus. A contender for the worst movie of the year already is The Reason Not to See I, Frankenstein. A contender for the worst movie of the year already is The Reason Not to See I, Frankenstein. Yeah, January exists for a reason, and it's to get all the piece of shit movies out of the way.
Jerry's consensus. If you're bored at home on a Saturday and you need something to watch, that's the reason to see I, Frankenstein. If you're bored at home on a Saturday and you need something to watch, that's the reason to see I, Frankenstein. Like, it's really bad, but I'm not upset about it. Like I would put it on in the background again and it would probably be fine, so yeah.
Wasn't bad. Cat's consensus. Reasons to see I, Frankenstein. Aaron Eckhart shirtless. Reason to see I, Frankenstein. Aaron Eckhart shirtless. Yeah, I mean, he was pretty cute. He got pretty buff. If nothing else, go for the eye candy.
And you know when he's shirtless? It's pretty obvious he's flexing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because he
That's
stands.
He's like standing
He
over.
stands literally like,
Yeah.
because he's like trying to look like he's covering himself, but he's
Yeah.
also
Like,
got his
look at-
arms.
He's got his arm bent still. And he's like totally flexing his pecs. But still, if I look like that, I would probably do the same thing.
Oh.
Alright guys, thanks for checking out our awesome review for I, Frankenstein. Why don't you go ahead, scroll that comment box below, and tell us, which actor would you like to see get buff?
Yeah, then once you're done with that, why don't you come over here and click this bouton so you can see more episodes of Reasons to See, because there's more than one of them.
And last, but not least, if you want to get updated every time one of our reviews is out, subscribe! Yeah, you got the scribe down. You didn't say the sub. Is scribe a word?
Yeah,
Scribe is a word?
scribes are
You said subscribe?
I think so.
I heard you just say scribe.
maybe you said sub really low and scribe really high.
Scribe!
I should have really committed more to it. I should
Yeah.
have been 100%.
We should probably introduce you to Kat.
Hi, I'm Kat.
We haven't told you anything about her. Yeah, she's multi-talented. Ready? Ready? I'm gonna wrap this shit off.
Oh my God.
Actress, writer, director, cinematographer, editor, artist, painter, archer. Yeah. What else do you do?
I do yoga.
Yoga. No, I'm not gonna say where she does yoga. That'd be fucked up.
Oh yeah, any of my stalkers come and
Yeah.
practice it.
She does yoga. Runs. Very talented.
Oh, thank you.
Very talented.
Running is definitely a talent.
Yeah, I was like, you gotta come on the show. Guess how we met her? Guess how we met her? Craigslist.com.
5.
That's right. That
They
ad
said,
worked.
We need a girl to come to our apartment so we can film her, and I was like, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, it was
Let's
great.
do
She
this.
responded right away. It was crazy.
Luckily we're not creepy, but why did you respond to that?
It's
Oh, you had a cool YouTube channel.
Oh, okay.
I like
Yeah.
the show.
We're two dudes come to our apartment.
come to our apartment and film this.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. You know what I realized?
Why did you let a creepy girl come to your apartment? That's the real question.
Well, usually the creepers are the ones answering.
You're a pretty creepy girl, so
thank
you know
you.
we'll endure the creepiness.
Awesome.
Yeah, you know how it is, but guys.